I just test the stream real quick. Audio and that. How will it then? Testing. Cool. And it's working. Hello and welcome back to F1 League of South Africa. This is round 8, which means we are at the halfway stage of this enthralling championship where Afrodox took the championship lead back lost the championship lead, may I add. May I correct myself? As he had a bit of a stinker, which means the championship is still wide open and anything can happen. Today, last time out, we saw one of the races of the season, probably one of the races of the whole league, in fact, as we had a battle between GSR and Quagga Roberts for the race win. They went all the way down to the wire, and in the end, GSR came out on top and got AlphaTauri's first win of the season. Last time out, it was a brilliant race. Today, in the commentary box, I am not joined by Fizzbungle, I am joined by Ellis, and this is probably going to be the last time we see him in the commentary box for the foreseeable future. As we have Ellis in the lobby. Yeah, Ellis is in an Alfa Romeo. So bit of a yikes, and I think that means Trey won't be able to get in, so Ellis already making his mark on today's stream. So today we are racing around the Silverstone circuit. This is going to be one of the best races of the season, I imagine, because it provides lots of overtaking opportunities, and it being a long track could throw up a load of strategical differences. And I believe we are restarting. I think this is a perfect time to say Ellis is in the commentary box with me. So, and this is his final time in the commentary box. So, you want to include your audio, Ellis? Make sure to do it. So I was ready for things to get kicked off properly. Trey can get into a seat. That's why we are restarting. Claim my 500 insight. We'll have unwritten mail. What do you mean, what's happening? Oh. In what sense? I know you claimed a car, but it's a restart. Yeah, so include your audio. You should have the option, shouldn't you? Cool. Just make sure you include it. Oh, thanks, Fizz. Loving the commentary from Ellis. Yeah, he's been quiet. He's kind of messed a load of stuff up so far, so... That was a terrible laugh. We should be back on the way shortly. Anyway, this little intermission gives us a perfect time to go over what happened last time out in Austria. That was, as I said previously, a pretty mental race with a couple of safety cars. We had strategical masterclasses from Quagga Roberts, which didn't quite pay off in the end, but he got himself up into the place to fight for a win. Afrodox had a bit of a stinker, which meant he only took 1 point away from the race. Franz crashed early on, but he recovered to 4th. It was an enthralling race to commentate, and it was probably also one of the cleanest, as Weeze took the win ahead of Quagga Roberts and Trey. So, Trey getting on the podium for, I believe, the first time this season. I am just double checking that. Yes, it was the first time this season where we saw Trey on the podium. Quagga Roberts and Weeze have both been on podiums, of course. Weeze really taking this league by the scruff of the neck and showing his pace and what he can do. Say he'll be racing in an Alfa Romeo. So I'm interested to see what he can do. He's got most of the AlphaTauri's points so far this season, which means they're no longer last in the championship, as last in the championship is now Aston Martin, as only Aston Martin and Haas haven't had podiums. So a lot can happen in these league races. So I was supporting AlphaTauri for a few races. Now Weeze came along and it's kind of making me change allegiance because I like to support the teams that are doing badly. No offence to Aston Martin and Haas. We hope to see one of them on the podium today. Night Scout in the Aston Martin with Divan, who's back after a race ban. And we've also got Venom Terror and don't know who the other Haas is today. So, Ellis, do you need an invite?
Hmm?
You need an invite?
Yeah, please.
There you go. Make sure to include your audio. So, there are currently 11 people watching the stream. It's not quite the heights of what we saw last time, where I think we had around 70 concurrent viewers at one point, so the league is becoming successful, and that is always good. Thanks for all the support on the streams. It is a pleasure, for me anyways, to commentate these races. So, Ellis, where do you think the action zones are here in Britain? Oh, there's quite a few.
Well, Silverstone, you've obviously got, you know, I live in Britain and I've been to Silverstone, I'm trying to remember corn names. So you got Brooklands.
Yeah, we've seen some classic overtakes through there in real life.
Yeah, you come off the loop, and if you get the better exit, the aid of DRS, spectate. There we go.
Yeah, make sure you do that. I'm pretty sure I've done it. I don't want to do the same.
But so Brooklands will definitely be one of your main overtaking opportunities. You could also see some moves down into Cops. You know.
Yeah, optimistic. Obviously, we've seen crashes there in real life.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Obviously, there's one that always springs to mind.
Yeah, we've also seen some spectacular overtakes through there, like Leclerc, in 2022, on Hamilton. I believe it was. There's more defending, but it was brilliant to watch, and hopefully we get to see some of that today. Fizz putting into the chat opinions on Jeremy Doku.
Fizz, just because someone signs for your club doesn't automatically mean they're going to be the absolute GOAT.
The only opinion I've got is that West Ham are massive everywhere we go, and I'm a West Ham fan. Fizz is Ellis is a Chelsea fan, and this is going to be interesting.
Harry, stop bringing it up into every freaking conversation. Jesus Christ.
It's rare that we win a game of football, okay? Let me have this one. Moises Caicedo is the best signing ever.
Shut up. It was funny the first time, it's not actually funny anymore.
Yeah, I'm aware. Let me make a meal of it until we lose on the weekend, so... West Ham don't get relegated everywhere we go. The last time we got relegated was 2011, so it's been 12 years, so we don't get relegated. Alright, we should be underway shortly. Oh, it's supposed to be heavy rain the whole race.
Oh, fun.
And we should be underway shortly as we've got the timer on the top of the screen saying that we're about to go. So, should be an interesting race. Hopefully qualifying can also be interesting. It's also known as one of them tracks where anything can happen. And we are loading.
Qualifying about to get underway then, and obviously Silverstone, great track, as we all know. Great races in real life. It never fails.
And we got a full grid today, so...
Is it a sprint, is it?
No, it's a full grid. But
oh, right, sorry, I thought you said
Francis just put in the commentator's lounge. Races dry to wet. So, for the first time in the league's history, I believe, we have got a wet race. We've had wet sessions before. We haven't had a wet race. The qualifying will be dry.
I think you mean Tier 1's history.
Tier 1's history.
Tier 2 Austria was definitely a wet race.
Yes. Yeah, I can't... I didn't watch the stream, to be honest, and I couldn't. I was stuck at work, so...
So we should start to see the first few cars make their way out of the pits once everyone's got their setups on and adjusted correctly. The first one out on track is going to be the number 7 AlphaTauri of Big T. AlphaTauri, a team that have struggled so far this season. They're usually able to fight, but their luck's just not been on their side. So I think their regular lineup is usually Snotcop and... Who's the other AlphaTauri driver, Harry? Like, main driver.
Sorry, I apologise about that. I did not hear a single word. My controller disconnected. Anyway, we are on the way.
Who's the other main AlphaTauri driver? Snotcop and who?
Whitwolf, and he's been replaced today by Big T, but in previous races it was Wheeze, who went on to win in Austria, so...
And he is now in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah. I could make a really cringy joke, but I'm not going to. So, Divan will be wanting the session to end right now, because he is P1, because no one set a lap yet. And welcome back, Divan. Obviously serving your race ban, which you believe to be unfair, because the incident that was in Canada, where it just looked like you just went full speed into a wall. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, just don't do it again.
So first driver to set a lap then is going to be LSA Andres. He comes through Stowe now. That's going to be one of your other overtaking opportunities. Down the DRS back straight on the hanger straight, and then it'll be into Club Corner. Or as I will most likely refer to it as the Club Chicane.
So, Andre then, to start his lap, going into turn 1, which is flat. and it's just all about the line you take through there, which gains or loses you time. So Andre will be wanting to go well around here. He's had a few tough races, but he's also had some great races. He's been up in top 6 once this season, I believe, which is very good for his standards. He'll be wanting to try and replicate that today. Obviously, we've got some very, very fast drivers in the field. Obviously, Franz, our championship leader, Afrodox, who won the championship lead after last race. So both Franz and Afrodox have had stinkers. The only someone who could find himself into that championship fold is Quagga Robert, who every time he has raced, he has been ever consistent. Also, he got very close to the race win last time out. As through Maggots and Beckett's goes Andre. He's lifting a little bit much for that, from what I do, so.
Different confidence levels though, Harry, and maybe,
yes,
you know,
of course.
Obviously he might have lifted a bit more, but that would have probably allowed him to get on throttle a little bit sooner, and that would have allowed him a better exit onto the hangar straight, which will be crucial if you are not within DRS, but you've got someone behind you within. As he comes up through Club Corner now, obviously where Magnus and Albon came to blows back in 2020, and it's a 127.560 for LSA Andre in the Williams car. Next up it's going to be Big T across the line. It's 26.1.
That's a great lap from Big T. So that second AlphaTauri car looking very good at the moment, because that was the car that Weiss was in last time out. Andre and Afrodox goes to a 25.8, so that's 3/10 ahead of Big T, and that's what Afrodox needs after a tough round in Austria.
Lenny moved up to P3, Snotcop up to P4, and Night Scout is P6 at the moment then.
Next will be an Alfa Romeo, and this is the man who won last time out. GSR Weiss, obviously he was in an AlphaTauri then, he's in an Alfa Romeo now. Can he go and put his Alfa Romeo onto the front row, maybe? He does.
Yes, he does.
25.6, and that is the time to beat.
Next up, I think, is it Boomroker? No, it's going to be Olympic across the line with the P5 there. Now it's going to be one of the Hasses. That's going to be Cheddar across the line. Cheddar goes up to P3 then.
Cheddar had some brilliant pace last time out. He qualified up in the top 3. But the strategy and the timing of safety cars just meant the podium chance came away from him. But he's been really quick in recent races. As Fori only goes 5th, and Ironland is only just behind him in 6th. So Red Bull's looking okay here. But crucially, we haven't seen that from Franz. We haven't seen that from Notnats, Boomroker, Trey, Calmboy, Melts, Divan.
Notnats is coming up to the final corner now.
I reckon he's got a quali ban.
Goes P8.
So for Notnats, that's about where he should be. Well, it's where he has been in recent races in qualifying anyway.
Boomroker has spun it through Maggots and Beckett's there. So luckily able to rejoin safely for the Alpine. But that is not going to be ideal.
Next across the line will be to finish a lap. Would be Boomroker, but he's invalidated. That is impeding. If I have ever seen it.
Of Olympic there going through Maggots and Beckett. That could potentially be a quali ban for the Alpine driver. Venom Terror moving alongside him to show his dismay, pushing him onto the grass there. Really not good stuff from Venom Terror. Lost his head there.
If someone who's watching the stream who's not currently on track or is just viewing it for entertainment purposes, if you can clip that, please. That will be looked at after the race. Or if not, Franz will obviously rewatch the race because it's what he always does, and he will probably clip it anyway, but not ideal. And I'm shocked none of them got a penalty out of that one, so
yeah.
After the race, there will be
I think
after the race today.
Is now out.
That is in the pit lane.
Yeah. So I think out of that incident there, I think Olympic will get a penalty for blocking, but I think Venom Terror could be looking at a penalty for his antics afterwards. Right, I have no issue with drivers showing their dismay, but he did it in a very unsafe way, I feel.
Well, through the chicane, Quagga Roberts. He was good last time out. He goes 4th here. It's a 25.8, and he's only 2/10 off the GSR Weiss. Quagga Roberts is going to put in a late title fight, I think, this season. And he has been the most consistent driver out of everyone. So, Quagga Roberts, everyone should take note of him. He's been brilliant.
Oh, Boomroker has
Boomroker's
left the session. So Divan then. The game says he set the fastest middle sector, but the game says everyone sets the fastest middle sector. It's always done that, I don't know why.
Boyd's up to the Vale chicane now.
I don't think he's pushing though, Harry.
Okay, I know, but it's at least going to be a lap on the board for him. It will be last, but it's a lap on the board nonetheless.
Behind him now, Divan goes up to P8 for Divan there. He splits to 2 Red Bulls. It's a good lap for the Aston Martin driver.
Only 2 tenths off Fori, and we know what Fori can do. Obviously, he is a championship winner in this league. He won Tier 2 in Season 1. So, Trey then through the final corner to start a lap. We'll wait. So, after the first major runs, any outstanding laps of people who you wouldn't expect to be in the top, say top 10, or even higher, or someone who we expect to be in the top 10 who's even lower?
I would maybe expect Olympic maybe to be a little bit higher.
For me, the standout is Big T, because he's gone on 26-1, and that he has usually been around the 12th, 13th mark, and that is brilliant for Big T. Up into 6th, so it must be one of his strong tracks. Cheddar really finding pace in recent weeks. He just needs that little bit of luck to get on the podium this round.
Absolutely. We'll see where Carnboy fits in now as he comes into the final chicane through Club Corner. Mercedes driver a little bit of oversteer there on his way into the final corner. Up to the line, it's P8 for Carnboy there.
Obviously, he is now out of sync.
Divan. Next behind him is going to be the Alfa Romeo of Trey. Now, Trey's had some pretty bad luck, I'd say, every time I've commentated.
He was on the podium last time out, though. So he'll be wanting to go back to back and through the final corner then. It's going to be 26-1. He's very close to Big T, so that's P7 for the Alfa Romeo car. Alfa Romeo 1-7 right now. I'm pretty sure they will take that.
I think they might have the best average qualifying of this qualifying session so far.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Well, surely. Well, there's 6 different cars in the top 6, and then the next repeat one is Trey in the Alfa Romeo. So, it's good to see how close this grid is right now.
Now then, GSR Weeze. Oh, GSR Weeze trying to get the toe off a Carnboy there. He's probably cost himself more time in doing so. But here comes Weeze then through Stone. Maybe misses the apex a little bit, but he definitely keeps it nice and clean. Hard onto the brakes now into the final chicane. Braking hard, and then through Club Corner he comes now out the final corner up to the line. Is it an improvement? It is. He only improves by 25 thousandths of a tenth, but
Franz is now 30 thousandths off of him. So Franz
Aphrodite.
in that interlude has got up to second.
Here comes Aphrodite then, P3 at the moment. Can he find time? Used a lot of the exit road there. Is it? Oh, he does improve 62 thousandths of a second, and that puts him not too far behind Aphrodite. Where's Cheddar?
Cheddar's closing down though. Cheddar is down on his lap through the first sector, so let's see if he can find anything in the middle sector, eh?
Night Scout is coming up to the final few corners now. He sits last at the moment of all the people who have set a lap. So here comes the Aston Martin out the final corner. Where is it? It's up to P9. That puts him.
The Aston Martin at bottom of the constructors' standings right now.
Puts him 1,000th of a second clear of Carnboy. So I think he'll be happy with that. It's going to be one of the Williams cars next. I'm going to guess that's Andre who's starting a lap. And then it's going to be Venom Terror, is it? No, it's going to be Cheddar. So here comes Cheddar then up.
Oh, Venom Terror's round as you say that, and he's done that. I think that is Brooklands.
That would be Woodcut into Luffield.
Woodcut into Luffield.
Or Luffield into Woodcut, one of the others.
I know Luffield's the little right kink, but I didn't know where Woodcut is. But now he's got to get out of the way. But Venom Terror, that is far from ideal for him. And House one, the only one of 2 teams without a podium this season. The other team is Aston Martin, and so no, we want this to go well.
Franz has come through Maggots and Beckett's. He's 11 thousandths of a second up on his lap. It's not enough to get in front of GSR Wheeze. Let's see how much time he can find in this final sector. Goes through Stone, nice and clean, no oversteer. Hard on the brakes here. Really looks well in control of his car. He comes through the final couple of corners now. No oversteer. And is it up to the line? Is it an improvement? It is, and he's improved by almost 4/10 there to go 3.39.
That's a lot of time in that final sector.
0.339 clear of GSR Wheeze. Great lap there from Franz.
Yeah, that's a mega lap. And obviously in real life, McLaren went really well around the Silverstone circuit. And no one saw it coming, but Franz in that McLaren has gone 3/10 clear of the field. So, Franz the one to beat then. Franz is usually the one playing catch-up in qualifying sessions, going into the final run. Now he's the one to be beaten. Can GSR Wheeze, Afrodox, or Quagga Roberets, maybe even Cheddar, do anything about this? This is a very close battle for second place nonetheless. So, this could be a very dramatic end to qualify.
It could be, and this could start with Not Nats. He's a few tenths up on his lap at the moment, which could put him into the top 10 here, as he comes through the final corner now. Where is it for Not Nats? It's P13. He's lost out a little bit there. So, not what Not Nats would have been looking for, but I'm sure he'll be happy just to have a lap on the board. Meanwhile, someone who has had their lap on the board is Boomroker. He had no lap, and he's up to he's P14 at the moment, about to start his second run for the Alpine driver. He can keep it clean.
No matter what happens for him this season, Boomroker will be happy. Saying that he's been on the podium. I don't think he expected that this season. I think he expected to be in the fight for points more often than not. But he'll be very happy with that Imola race, where he ended up on the podium. And that was well celebrated. But he could have won that race, and he knows it. So
Carnboy then is coming through Maggots and Beckett's now, mounts the sausage curb, which would have really unsettled his car, but he seems to be doing alright, however. As he comes out of Maggots and Beckett's, open the DRS, how much is he up by? He's up by just under 2/10 into the final sector. This would promote him potentially up in front of Fori here if he finds enough time, but I think he's run out of fuel and he's coming into the pits.
Yeah, so going for the double push lap there was Carnboy. Not Nats will come into the pits at the end of this lap, I'm sure. Yes, he will. I believe someone's run out of fuel on there. On the hangar straight.
It's GSR Wheeze preparing to start his lap, so let's follow him all the way through this lap then. Harry Bartram, take us away.
So he's going to have to warm up through the Vale chicane, but there's a slight lock up there. So maybe it'll help him get the rotation, but we're about to start the lap on the Exeter Club. And here we go on the off-board camera with GSR Wheeze, and turn 1 looked very hooked up, but wasn't as close to the outside curb as I thought he'd be. Now, can he get the rotation for turn 3 and then turn 4, as he's going to try and prepare for the long straight on the run down to Brooklands. And we'll see where he lies in terms of improvement. He is nearly 1.5 tenths up going into Brooklands, and then we got Woodcut is this right-hander, and then looking of Luffield. Now on the run down to Copse, this is where a lap can be seen as incredible or poor, and he seems to do perfectly there, flat through Copse. Now this section of track, Maggots and Beckett's, this is where all the time is gained, and he's looked pretty good through there. And GSR Wheeze looking very on top of his Alfa Romeo right now. He's 2/10 up, so he needs to find quite a bit in the final sector, about 1/10 or so, to get ahead of Franz on his lap. Oh, but he's invalidated on the exit of Stowe, and that is not what he needed. So GSR Wheeze going to have to play a bit of catch up in this final run.
I don't think he's not going to have the fuel.
No, he's not.
He's out of qualifying and his GSR Wheeze, so that puts more pressure on the likes of Afrodox, Quagga Roberets, and Cheddar, who are all within just under half a second there. I did see there was quite a big build-up of cars going through Woodcut, but they all seem to have sorted themselves out now, and they're all flowing into the Vale chicane, starting with the Williams of Afrodox then. Sits P3 at the moment. I think is he P1 or P2 in the championship?
He is second in the championship after his poor race where he only finished 15th in Austria. So who's first on a lap then?
It's Aphrodox, I think. Or is it Aston Martin?
Trey?
Not Divan.
Fouri's on a lap.
It's Night Scout, so it'd be Night Scout who's first on a lap, I think. Or is it
Fouri?
Is it Fouri? Is it?
Fouri's on a lap. He was up. He's up by
Or is it Ironland? Sure, it's not Ironland. Yeah, it's Ironland. Ironland, round the front corner now. Can he find a big improvement? Up to P9 for Ironland there, just behind his teammate, who he is just about to come into the Vale chicane.
Yep. Getting it turned in perfectly, but he's hit the curb, and that will offset his car. And that's a little bit of time lost there for Fouri, which meant he does not improve his lap time. Olympic is done, he's 10th. Not Nats is done, he is 14th.
Oh, Night Scout
might not stay there. And that's on the Exodus Stowe. And that is his qualifying over. One person who's qualifying also is over is GSR Wheeze, who's going to come into the pit lane. He is out of everybody's way. So next will be Aphrodox. Has he found any time? He
just under 2 tenths up.
Can he find anything in this final few corners of the Vale chicane? And now we've got Club to the line for Aphrodox. Can he improve enough? He goes second place.
Cheddar up to third.
Cheddar's up to third. Now we're looking at Divan up to 6th. That is brilliant for Divan. Trey obviously got a set a lap as well. Ironland is done. Calm Boy.
Venom
also
Terror.
He's 2 tenths up.
Up to P8 for Venom
goes
Terror
up to
there.
8th.
Andre.
Calm Boy next.
Franz goes even quicker.
His time. Quagga Roberts though. 3.5 tenths up. Going into the Vale chicane. Can he find any time through Club Corner? Here we go. Quagga Roberts. Only 6th. GSR Wheeze is done, obviously, and that is your grid. And the outlier has to be Cheddar, who's got to put it P3 here in qualifying. But Franz is up in pole, and the more shocking thing is, he is 3 tenths clear of the field, and Franz will hopefully go on to win this race. He needs to extend his championship lead over Aphrodox, but it's top 2 in the championship. Franz and Aphrodox on the front row. This could get spicy, Ellis. But Cheddar's there, waiting in the wings, in P3. Wheeze only P4, because he invalidated his final run. Calm Boy got up into 5th in the end. That's a great lap from Calm Boy.
I'd say Calm Boy is the true outlier here. You were saying about how Cheddar's the outlier, but Calm Boy up in P5, you know. I think the best we've seen from him in qualifying might be about 8th, 9th, maybe?
I'm pretty sure he was up there around 1, but we haven't seen the same since. But today, he is up in 5th. Quagga Roberts in 6th, Divan in 7th, Trey in 8th, Big T in 9th. Big T got his 126.121. That was his first run, so clearly not finding what Big T probably could have been fighting up in for P5 today, but he just couldn't get the lap time on the board. Venom Terror putting it P10. The Haas, that's much improved for him. Haas having both cars in the top 10, that's a rarity. Fouri, only 11th. That is a disappointment for him. Ironland, only 12th. Olympic 13th. That's a bit of a shocker for him as well. Night Scout 14th, not Nats 15th. Lenny down in 16th. He was brilliant last season. He just seemed to fall off of this game. Boomraker in 17th, then Snotcop, Andre, and Meltz, who didn't get a lap time in because I believe he had a qualifying ban. But what a qualifying at the end there, Ellis.
Absolutely, that qualifying ticked away. Unfortunate for Wheeze there, as he wasn't able to complete another lap. However, what I will mention, the first row of the grid is also the last row of the grid, as this race starts off dry, as we suspected, and it is going to become very, very wet, I'm sure.
I believe this is all going to be in the hands of the gods. Who gets the call right? And if someone out front gets it wrong, we could see a very interesting battle for the podium. We know it's going to be a dry to wet race. It's just when we will see the rain is the thing that will make it interesting, because it is on approximate, so it can come at any time. It's not exact, so this could be a very interesting race, Ellis.
I think this
everyone's
race
starting on the hards right now.
this race will be determined by which race or which tyres these drivers start on. Some might risk it, go for a set of softs maybe, push hard at the start, try and hold on to them before the rain comes. When the rain comes, they should be in a nice position. Some might go
So far.
hard to push all the way, and some might sit in the middle and just go for mediums. Depends how quickly
Well,
that rain comes down, how aggressively it comes down, and when it will come down.
obviously the drivers know more than us. For Trey, at the moment, he's gone mediums. Olympic's gone mediums, and Boomroker's gone mediums. Melt's going on the softs, but he's starting in the back, so he's got some ground to make up. So this could be a big swing in what happens here. It's the front runners are going to be under a lot of pressure about getting this right because the championship's at stake. And I believe if we're going to see Franz and Afrodox come together at any point this season, I have a slight inkling that it could be today.
Well, this is the thing. Plenty of corners for them to try and go side by side and it fail. A lot of fast sweeping corners like Stowe, like Cops, like turn 1 off the Hamilton straight. And it's just one of those tracks really, isn't it? Some might go bold, some might try it around the outside at Maggots and Beckett, some might wait and just play it safe on the DRS straight. We really don't know what these drivers will do. And I like it that way. Nobody wants to know what a driver's going to do. Unless, of course, you're the driver that's getting overtaken. Then you'd love to know what the driver's going to do.
This could be a very interesting race. So, put your predictions in the chat. Who will win? Because I don't think any of us know at the moment, but the pole sitter is Franz, and he was 3/10 clear of the field, so maybe it's Franz's time to extend his championship lead. Louis predicting rain around lap 13. Okay. It all depends how quickly it comes and how heavy it becomes, because if it gets really heavy, then we could see the wet tyres. But I think no matter what happens, we will see the intermediates today. So, put your predictions in the chat. Who's going to win this race? And Ellis, who do you think is going to win this race?
Tough to call, really, isn't it? It's...
Yep.
You could say Franz because he had such good qualifying, but we know he's prone to a mistake from time to time. Some other drivers might just have that bit more consistency.
Also, with a race where weather will make a big impact, it's all about getting the decision right. I reckon being first is probably the worst place to be in terms of making that call.
Absolutely.
So I think no matter what, if you've got nothing, you've got less to lose if you're down in around 12th, 13th, 14th. So we could see someone being around that position. So, for example, Ironland, Olympic, Night Scout, maybe not Nats, Lenny, Forey, who's down 11th, but he wants to close in on the championship gap. So, one of them could make a really big call and be lightning quick because they get it right. The gamble is going to be huge, but the rewards could be massive, and I don't think many top runners will actually do that today. A couple plaudits to go out after qualifying. Well done, Carnboy. That is a brilliant qualifying session from you. Up in 5th, maybe you can turn that into some solid points. Same with Divan after his race ban, come back in a new man, a bit like Amory Cordial in F2 last season. He took his race ban and went on to fly. So, maybe we've got an Amory Cordial regen in Divan, but from South Africa, not Belgium. Probably the weirdest analogy I've made on commentary.
He's gonna be really mid.
No, because he was good at the end of this last season.
Yeah, not anymore though, is he? So he's gonna be mid next season then.
I blame the virtuosi, but that's what it is. Anyway, what a mixture of tyres. Fran's going soft, Afrodox going medium, Cheddar going hard. So they're all going different right now at the front. Wheeze has gone hards, Calmboy has gone mediums, and you've got Quagga Roberts and Divan going hards. Divan, as I say that, goes mediums. Could be a very interesting race. We've been live for 40 minutes. and we currently have 11 viewers. It's not as good as last week, but who cares? I'm happy to be here. I'm pretty sure
Oh, here we
Alice is
go
happy
then.
to be
5
here.
red lights.
Oh,
Lights go
and we're
out,
lights
it's
out and away we
underway.
go.
Somebody's gone really slowly off the line. That's Lenny and Franz, I believe. No, Afrodox has taken the lead then from Franz, who is. They're both on medium tyres, meanwhile. And then Cheddar holds on to P3. GSR Weasel is looking to make the move. Can he make it? He's up the inside of the Haas there. Meanwhile, the other Haas of Venom Terrace had a bit of a mare. Further back, here goes the Alfa Romeo then trying to find a way through on Cheddar, but he just cannot make it work. Meanwhile, we see further back, Melt's got a penalty for a collision with Trey.
I've got no game audio, which is very fun. And I don't think the stream does either, so I'm very interested. And I fixed it. So Afrodox leads then, ahead of Franz, then Cheddar. Then Weez staying fourth, but he's on the back of Cheddar, and he's going to think about a move running down into Cop's corner. He's going to go to the inside. Weez makes the move up into third place. That is a great move from the Alfa Romeo. And we saw it last time out. He makes the bold move. And he's now up to third. Calmboy, all over the place, and he's gone a little bit wide, and that's a mistake there. But I think that's more netcode than anything else. Cragger Roberts and Divan will be looking to try and get involved with this battle. Big T has dropped off a little bit. That will allow
Franz versus Afrodox. Franz has taken the lead back from the Williams car.
And it's getting feisty out front. So Franz from Afrodox as we're going to try and end the lap. So Franz leads, then Afrodox, then Weez, then Cheddar. Cheddar getting jumped by Weez into Cop's corner, then Calmboy, Quagga Roberts, Divan staying in 7th, then Big T, Olympic and Fori ran out the top 10. Ironland, then Notnats, Boomrook and Night Scout and Andre ran out the points. And it was a bit of a nightmare start for Trey, who's dropped all the way down to 19th, and Melk just had to come into the pits.
It was a bit more of a nightmare start for Venom Terror, I feel.
Yeah, looking good in qualifying, and it's just all come away right in 1 second there. Boomrook has found himself up to 13th though, so this is a perfect time to look at what the tyres are saying, and it is just a big mixture. Franz and Afrodox on the same tyre, Weez on the hards, then Cheddar also on the hards, so watch out for Weez and Cheddar towards the end of this stint, because they will be faster than Franz and Afrodox, but it all depends on when the rain comes, and that is the crucial bit.
Well, you're already seeing the gap start to form between Afrodox and Weez. It's above 1 second, and then it's just a big train behind. You cannot separate anyone up until you get to Venom Terror, who had that spin.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. Afrodox closing in on Fran. He wants to get his lead back. Fran did get his lead back from Afrodox after the start phase. Weez just trying to hold on to these packs. There's yellow flags, and that
Big T. Oh, Boomrook
is out. And there's a virtual safety car.
Deployed.
And into the pits comes Big T. And he speeds, so that's far from ideal for him. And are we going to see and then final corner, Fori. Something's happened to Fori.
Ironland had to give a few positions back there. Big T
Olympic
dropping down the order as he comes into the pits. So who does this help more? The hard runners, or does it help the medium runners more?
The soft runners, maybe, because it means they can hold on to their tyres a bit more.
Sorry, 2 seconds. So yeah, I can see the soft runners, but you know, 14th and 16th at the moment for Lenny and Snotcop. And then Melts, who's a bit further back, as Big T gets a drive-through for speed and the safety car. Just
Big
gets
T's
worse for him.
All the nightmares at once for Big T. At least you don't have to worry about sleeping tonight. There's a yellow flag in sector 2.
It's Lenny.
Lenny. Probably overheating the soft tyres. They can overheat so easily. But crucially on that virtual safety car restart, Franz got a very good launch off of it. He's got Afrodox by a tiny bit. Cheddar has lost the DRS gap to Weez, and we're starting to see the clouds come in.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to get a bit cloudier now. And Fori has left the session as Quagga Roberts makes the move on Carnboy there. It was just
dropping... Divan got past as well, so...
Carnboy's...
What's happening to Carnboy?
Big snap for Carnboy. Lagging all over the place is Carnboy.
Yeah. But Divan crucially getting past. So Divan having a great race up at the moment, up in 6th.
Absolutely,
So,
Divan, you know, another one of those drivers has had glimpses of talent across this season. Never really transpired for him, but this weekend it all seems to be going well. I've probably given him the commentator's curse, and
Mathrodox is putting the pace on a little bit on Franz, giving him the hurry up a little bit as he's trying to close the gap. And he's a bit closer this lap, so maybe he gets to run off of Maggots and Beckett so he can go for a move. So this battle is far from over between Franz and Aphrodite. Aphrodite's probably just not getting the lap in qualifying. Meltz with the fastest lap. He's on the softs and he's at the back of the field. So a lot of work for Meltz to do in this race to try and make up the ground. But anything can happen in F1 League in South Africa. We know it. Boomer could nearly won a race. For God's sake. So no offense to Boomer, he is out of the race, so I thought it was perfectly
Here comes Aphrodite gaining on Franz with the use of DRS. There's Quagga Roberts and Cheddar going at it. Quagga Roberts on the hard tyres as Carnboy is now out. He's retired on track.
What has happened? Is that a retire? Oh, maybe that's his AI doing something stupid. So that's interesting. So Carnboy is out of it. Divan has found himself up into 5th. He got ahead of Cheddar. So Divan is flying right now, and he's going to try and chase after the hard runners, I think. And Divan could find himself in a podium position soon. And I'm all for it. Aphrodox then is getting closer as well.
So Franz definitely seems more confident out of those final few corners. Whereas Aphrodox seems to be a bit more confident in the first sector, and they seem to be pretty equal in the middle sector.
Fori, after his mistake of trying to make the ground up, he's close to the back of Andre. Andre himself is close to the back of Notnat. So there's a little bit of a train going on behind the Ferrari, as Night Scout has run a little bit clear of them. Meltz with another fastest lap. So Meltz is just trying to recover as well as he can, as Big T serves his drive-through penalty. Cheddar is going to try and find his way back into the fight with Divan. Divan, so far, been the source of most of the entertainment, apart from the crashes, and I hope Divan has a good round. Obviously, Aston Martin and Haas are the bottom 2 in the Constructors' Championships right now, and they're going to come at it into Stowe, and down the inside goes Cheddar. Is he going to try and make the move? Divan has more confidence on the exit of the corner, and Divan holds on to 5th for the time being.
Yeah, not bad, you.
Cheddar giving them the hurry up.
So Fori then showing good pace here and might look to make a move into Vale on Andre. Doesn't.
Crucially, look at the gap out front.
That is a rather small gap. Could Aphrodite potentially look to make a move here? Aphrodite definitely seems to be in the more comfortable position at the moment, but he doesn't get a good exit off the loop, and that allows Franz just to pull away, because Iron Lan has left the session. Ooh.
So, but Aphrodite is gaining there all through Woodcut. And he's lost a little bit again. So the gaps are changing, but Cheddar is still stuck behind Divan. And
sorry to cut in here, Harry, but there was a little bit of a battle forming between Andre and Fori. They're going at it, and not Max even. I think it's just simmered down now out of Woodcut.
Divan, first one for track limits, but here goes Andre, and that is a little bit of a late move there from Notnat, and I'm pretty sure Andre will be a little bit annoyed, but he's going to try and come at it. Not into Maggots and Beckett, no? Thinks about it.
I said someone would try it, and I think Andre might have just been doing that as a show of, just to show his nose here, but in doing so he's going to have slowed himself up, which is going to now allow Fori, who's got a lot more ERS, to pounce, and here goes Fori to the inside. They've both got DRS, they're going to go side by side into Stowe, and Fori later on the brakes there is going to make the move. Does Andre get the switch back though? He's definitely got the better exit of the two. Fori though does hang on to it, and he's now got 3 cars in front of him in being not that Iron Lan and Night Scout. I think Iron Lan's still in AI however.
That little nudge to the right that, on the run up to Cops for Notnats. It's kind of just offset this lap for Andre. But look at what's happening ahead. There's Notnats. It's going to try and find a way past Ironland, who's not in the session. But that will allow Fori to try and go round the outside. And there's Cheddar has got past Divan. They're side by side into Brooklands, and now through Woodcote. Can Divan try and get the up and under? But Cheddar looks like he can make the move, but it's all about the exit. And Cheddar gets the exit, and he's up into 5th place.
Ironland's AI has inadvertently...
Oh!
Whoa! I think Ironland just took control back there. But his Ironland's AI inadvertently cost Fori 2 positions there. He was gonna have Notnats going down that straight, I believe, and he had, but Fori had to lift off, and that allowed Andre round his outside.
All this helping the likes of Olympic and Knight.
Here goes Divan then on Cheddar. Oh, just into the back of Divan, and he's broke his front wing.
And there's only one person at fault there, and that is Cheddar. And he's going to come into the pits, and this is an unscheduled pit stop because of no front wing for the Haas. And Divan breathing a sigh of relief as he's now got the Haas out of the way, and that means he can try and drive his own race. And he's currently got the 3-second gap to Olympic behind, so crucially, Divan got the better of Cheddar in that battle, but not in the way I don't think he wanted to. So Snotcop find himself into 12th.
Fori has turned up the wick here as he's going to look for the move down into the start of the loop, and that is a brilliant move there by Fori. Late on the brakes, allowed him to get a nice overtake on Notnats, and Notnats didn't fight that too much, but Notnats now with the DRS, I believe, has just left the session.
Here we go,
however.
Andre.
Goes Andre. Does Iron... Oh, Big T picks up a penalty. It's not what he would have been wanting.
Andre up into 9th. I think that move for Fori, it was more desperation than anything. I think he was going to go for it no matter what. He was stuck behind, and he was losing so much time to likes of Night Scout and Olympic, who he knows he's faster than. But now that's a bit of a gap to close in to try and get into the fight. There's yellow flags.
I don't know why. As Aphrodox is through on Franz. Aphrodox has made the move on Franz. Franz ran a little bit wide through Stowe, and he has got the position back up into the lead now for the Williams car, and the McLaren has to sit behind. I don't know what those yellow flags were for. There was nothing going on from what I could see.
So Franz might be in probably the preferred position when the rain comes, but it doesn't look like, we don't know where the rain's going to come from. We've got blue skies, yeah, we've got a few clouds, but when will it get grey enough to even contemplate rain?
I think this is something they need to add to the next game. Is like for spectators, they need like a weather forecast system, so we can see how long until the rain. As Lenny comes in on those soft tyres, no questions there that those were dying off. He does go onto the hards. So Snotcop also on the softs. He's not really fighting anyone at the moment. He's P11 in his Alpha Tauri. We'll have to see how long he can last on the quicker, but also probably more dead tyres now. As Ironland then showing better pace now than LSA Andre. Andre, of course, the last time I commentated this league, it was Imola. Or not the league, but this tier. It was Imola. And unfortunately, Andre got taken out off an incident on the race start. So not ideal there, but he's definitely showing a bit better pace as here comes Franz. He's within a few tenths here of Aphrodox, but nothing happening for the McLaren driver and the championship leader.
I think the strategies are going to start to meet in the middle in a minute, but here comes Ironland as he's going to try and move to the right hand side, and he gets past Andre as he into Stowe, and that was more of a formality than anything else. Ironland up to 9th, Andre down into 10th. And now Ironland can try and close on his teammate and hopefully not disconnect.
Absolutely. So 6 different constructors in the top 6 at the moment then. Obviously next it'll be Night Scout in 7th, the second of the Aston Martin pair. Which isn't something we're really used to saying. Normally Divan is second out of the 2. But really great showing for Divan here. He's showing really good pace this time round, and I think he's just grown in confidence over the season. Obviously, started the season off shaky, was consistently last in qualifying, lots of spins.
Same with last season as well. He went on to get a magical podium in Spa, and that was probably the making of what.
Oh, but he was
Divan
very
wide
wide
a little
through
bit of a fan favourite. one person who's a fan favourite in this league at the moment is Olympic, judging by the chat. And he's running very well in 6th, and here goes Franz. He gets ahead of Afrodox, and that is P1 again for Franz. And I have a feeling this is going to be a common theme. Franz and Afrodox battling it out into Stowe, and now Afrodox is going to have to try and catch up. And Afrodox has got a great number of a former West Ham player of Declan Rice. Unfortunately, he's at Arsenal now, but I'm now slightly rooting for Afrodox because of his number, unless it's 47 and it's dodgy font. I'd be embarrassed if it's 47.
Oh! Oh, I almost... Night Scout spun, and I was about to scream because I thought it was Divan.
Oh, I mean, Divan's running very well, but he's losing a lot of time to Olympic. Night Scout doesn't come into the pits, but he's lost out to Notnats, who's now found himself into P11.
So, unfortunately, Night Scout then dropping from P7 down to P12. Which now means that it's 7 different constructors in the top 7.
Yeah, and then the next repeat one is 8th, and that's 7th and 8th for Red Bull. So, Red Bull kind of helping each other out, unintentionally it seems, but I'm all for it. Snot Cup running in 10th, at the moment getting a crucial point for Aftari in the constructive battle.
Afrodox very, very wide there for into Cox. As he's starting to drop off of Franz here. Maybe Franz was just holding back, saving his tyres, saving the ERS, and he's now gone full push in his McLaren car. Who in real life, as you said earlier, Harry, did run really well here. Unfortunately, Williams didn't really run that well here. As Cheddar has now gotten through on his teammate Venom Terror, and he's now going to try and look to make inroads on the Alfa Romeo of Trey, who's having a very disappointing race today. You'd expect to see him a lot higher up, maybe. Just must not be one of his strong tracks. Snotcop, meanwhile, is holding really strong in P10 with those softs. And not
one thing you're forgetting about Trey, though, he was involved in that lap 1 incident with Venom Terror, and that is why he is down the order. He did go very well in qualifying, I think he's around 5th. So, Trey doing very well. Olympic and Snotcop are in. Snotcop would be scheduled, I think his tyres were just dying, and I think Olympic was on the mediums. That's an early stop. But as we're starting to see a grey cloud form, Ellis, if you look.
We can see it just over Cops, it looks to be. And, well, pretty much all around the circuit, other than the final corner, basically. Oh! As I was on board with Divan there, and he had a big lag spike, and he looked like it had just gone straight on into upward cut, but
yeah,
luckily,
there's a big cloud over Cops, like you said.
Absolutely,
and
is
Divan has
again.
gone very wide at Cops.
Very wide indeed. Afrodox using as much ERS as he can right now just to stick with Franz. Franz definitely trying to break that DRS, and I think once Franz does break the DRS, he will be home sailing. As in comes Afrodox then. Afrodox bails into the pits, hard on the brakes, gets it slowed down. Is this an early call for... Is Afrodox expecting the Inters to go to the... like... not until the very last few laps? I do not know.
I don't think he's expecting Inters to come at all. I think this plays into the hands of Wheeze then, because Wheeze and Quagga Roberts, who are on the hards, they can just go long and hope, I think. Same with like Fori, Ironland, Andre, Notnats, Night Scout. That group of people, they can all go very long and hope. And if the rain comes, which it looks like it will do because of the great clouds that are forming, and it's starting to get very overcast. Yes, there's still some blue skies, but it is starting to get more overcast. So there's some definitely on their way, but it's lap 13. We still haven't had rain. So Louis' prediction, unless it magically appears, is wrong.
Oh,
Fori!
That's another retirement on track.
Now, a lot is happening today, isn't it? So that's a shocker for Fori, who we expected to try and be on a recovery.
He left the session quite quickly. I wonder if it's some weird glitch. Because I don't know if you noticed, but when Carnboy's AI retired on track, Carnboy then soon joined afterwards. I wonder if it's a glitch that only happens to some people, where if like you lag out or whatever, it retires your car. As in come
Anyway.
GSR Wheeze and Quagga Roborets are in.
Divan stays out, so Divan's going to lead the race.
He will. Afrodox has been let through by Andre.
Inject it, breathe it in. Divan leads the British Grand Prix. And ahead will probably be Ironland. Like, behind him will probably be
Oh, this is going to be
Ironland.
so tight with Afrodox and Franz. Franz just coming out of the pits now. Where's Afrodox? He's swinging through. They're going to go side by side, maybe.
Side.
And Afrodox
gets him.
Does
that
get him
one
front.
lap, crucially, means Afrodox is up ahead. And look who Franz has got behind him.
LSA Andre.
I think the crucial thing is Andre let Afrodox through.
Yeah.
And Afrodox has got Ironland. That is crucial. Franz also got him.
Franz is not wasting time here. I think someone we need to look out for now. Our Divan gets a second penalty. Someone we really need to look out for now is GSR Wheeze. He's switched to those medium tyres.
But it's getting more overcast.
It is slowly but surely.
I don't think rain's that far away. But I have a feeling it'll be a bit too late to see intermediate running. It could be a situation like Russia, where it just comes down right at the end, but no one wants to make the gamble.
So, I thought whilst we have a little bit of a... Or whilst you commentate, I checked the warnings and everything. So, Afrodox is on 2 warnings at the moment, and Franz is only on 1.
Quagga Roborets getting past his teammate. That is important for his race. He's 4 seconds behind GSR Wheeze now. As GSR Wheeze gets past Andre, because Andre's into the pit. So everyone's bailing on the attempt to go long, apart from Ironman and Divan, it seems. Divan's still going on his mediums. I think Divan is still banking on some wet weather.
Absolutely.
And I don't blame him, because at the moment he is leading the race. Yes, might not be net. If the rain does come, it would be net. Like, I wouldn't say don't rule him out, but there's still a possibility that Divan can score a brilliant result here. And I'm all for it. The Divan fan club going crazy in the chat, surely, eventually, soon. Hope maybe. I'm waffling at this point, but...
We know, Harry, we know. Further back then, Cheddar and Trey are having a good little battle here.
They've also found themselves in the top 10.
Yeah, true. They have both found themselves in the top 10 after earlier incidents. Cheddar obviously running into the back of Divan, into Cops, and Trey getting caught up in those lap 1 incidents. So they're both finally now back up into the top 10 with Olympic
into the pits.
Yeah, so Divan has also bailed on that chance. Wonder if he switches to the softs here. I know it's a weird shout, but we've seen other guys like Big T.
It all depends how many sets he used. Maybe a couple did save a set.
No, he's going to hards.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where he comes out, because I reckon he'll be around Olympic.
Olympic's coming through the final corner now. I think he'll be behind Olympic, but ahead of ahead of Trey and Cheddar.
Divan, crucially though, on the fresher tyre. So Olympic's found himself in a great position, you know. He's up into 5th on hards. That will definitely go to the end. Yes, the mediums will as well, but the mediums will have gone off. So don't rule Olympic out for a good result either, because anything can happen at the end of this race. And I'm trying to look at the skies. I can't see the rain. Venom Terror leads the race. That's off. It's
Melts is off at the fight. Afrodox 3 seconds.
That is a game changer.
It was gonna happen. I said he had 2 warnings. It was bound to happen at some point in this race, and it's happened now. Does Franz risk it still? He's gonna risk it. He's gonna go for it. He goes to the outside. Is Afrodox gonna fight this too hard? No, he's gonna pull back into the slipstream and sit behind the McLaren.
It's now a race to lose for Franz, unless he gets a penalty, so he's got to take it easy. But Venom Terror leads on my screen. I don't know about yours.
Yeah, he leads on mine as well. It's a timing glitch, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm still looking about for some rain, because we were promised it by Franz. I'm disappointed at the moment. So
Lenny
clearly
has
in
had a
this,
spin and an off into the gravel, just coming out of Maggots and Beckett's there. That puts him down to P12 now, and timings have sorted themselves out. It's Trey and
so
Cheddar then that both come into the pits.
yep. So that means Ironland and Snotkop will be promoted as Snotkop is trying to get past the Red Bull, number 91 car of Snotkop. Snotkop has found himself in a brilliant position, by the way. Just put it out there. This should be one of his best drives. Big T having a bit of a nightmare, and his race has just fallen apart. But
Oh, Venom Perez leading again.
Snotkop's in the fight for around 7th place. Venom Terror is going to watch this race back and think, I was never leading. I can't remember winning this race, but 10 seconds clear of the field right now. So, vibing. Where actually is he on? Like on track? On track, it looks about right with where he is in comparison to the others. Has Venom Terror just pulled off a strategical masterclass and no one's known? But I'm pretty sure it is a timing glitch.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Oh, he's AI, that's why.
Yeah, so as soon as he comes back into the race, the race has hit a bit of a slow point, and we're waiting on rain, but it's just not coming. Andre running in 8th, and Snotkop Lenny in 10th. And not Night Scout. But the biggest battle at the moment is Snotkop versus Andre. And it's glitched again, and I don't really know what's happening.
Yeah, neither do I. Dive Van then is on the back of Olympic here for what would be P5.
Yes. But crucially, Divan's penalties is going to be a major issue. So realistically, Divan is running in P6, and he probably will be running in P6 all race, unless he keeps going wide like that in Cops. So, Divan, you showed some brilliant pace
Divan.
today.
Oh, but Olympic. Oh. Nope, another lag spike.
Olympic struggling through Maggots and Beckett. So, Divan can get a move on Olympic and make the move pretty sharpish. Divan looks the fastest driver by a country mile right now. So Divan could maybe get the gap, but it will be close.
Will definitely be tight. Olympic making a few errors. Going a little deep on the brakes and just costing himself on the exits here, where Divan is definitely gaining as it's fixed itself now.
Yep.
Could Divan look for a move? He's gonna probably wait until down the straight.
Yeah, because up the corner a bit more than Olympic, and he's got a very good exit as Divan. So he's going to definitely make the move down this straight, and this should be a formality for the Aston Martin driver, who's going to try and get past Olympic, and the leaderboard is just really annoying me. And Divan up into what is 5th place, but now he's got to get a move on if he's going to try and keep it. Afrodox's race has been ruined by that penalty, and Weezer's not making an impact as what we thought you'd see him make, but Weezer's definitely going well at the moment. He has had every position on the... If he stays like this, he would have had every position on the podium, and that is pretty cool. And he would have done it in the same order. He got 2nd in Canada, 1st last time out in Austria, and if at the moment he's 3rd, it would be the same order that the likes of Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon did it in real life, so he's joined an illustrious list of names. Had to get my little Pierre Gasly reference in. I do it every race. Only fair.
So, Notnats and Lenny are fighting, and Notnats has gone through. Bless me. Quagga Roberts picks up a 3-second time penalty. Not that it's really going to affect his finishing position here. He's P4. He's had a very quiet and lonely race as Quagga Roberts. Just not.
Yeah, yellows in sector 3. That is a slow car. I believe that was Trey making a slight mistake because he lost quite a bit of time there. Venom Terror's now 3rd. So Venom Terror providing all the entertainment, but for all the wrong reasons, because the game is awful. Thank you, Fizz. I know it's war of batteries. And my phone's just died, so I can't even see the chat anymore. That's very fun.
Oh, let me finish catching this Pokemon on Pokemon Go and I'll have a look.
Which one is it? Like, this has been a boring Silverstone Grand Prix, British Grand Prix.
It has been, to be fair.
But realistically, we was all looking for rain. I believe if we weren't thinking about the rain, although there's a bit of a grey cloud, Lenny with a penalty. Let's just go. Watch it come down after the race. Like we've seen so many times in real life, the rain falls after the race. But Divan is trying to get a gap here ahead of Olympic, and I think Olympic is soon to drop out of the 1 second gap.
I think he's just stayed in there, so he's gonna have the DRS coming down. I always forget what the name of this straight's called. Is it the Brooklyn Straight?
Obviously you got the Hanger Straight and the Hamilton Straight.
The Hanger Straight, the Hamilton Straight, but the old Pit Straight.
Yeah.
I don't think what the other one's called.
All I know is that it's by the BRDC clubhouse.
Yeah, that's it on the right there. It's also by the hospitality unit I've gone in before.
Yep, and now we go to Cots. As we're on board with Divan. Through Magnus and Beckett's. Looked more confident through Magnus and Beckett's this time round as Divan. And that might have worked because he's so close to breaking the gap from Olympic.
Yellow flag, and it's
nothing
around.
Again.
I don't get it.
He's just
don't
been a confusing race for bugs. But either way, Franz leads from Aphrodox, and ever since Aphrodox's 3-second penalty, it's just kind of all gone wrong for him. But we've seen a bottle in Franz. Can we see it again?
Here comes Night Scout on Lenny. Up the inside into Stowe. Lenny's going to fight it, and he holds on around the outside.
Lovely bit of defending there from the Mercedes.
Defensive. No, he doesn't. And then once again drops to last now. Nobody lap him because that tends to be when he moves up the order. So, Night Scout then showing better pace than Lenny, but of course he's on 6-lap fresher mediums. He's on 7-lap old mediums compared to 13-lap old hards. Oh, big snap though for Night Scout there, coming out of the loop, and he saves it, but he's going to lose a lot of time to Lenny.
Olympic is gaining on Divan now, so Divan must have made a mistake somewhere. And Olympic right now is looking at maybe a P4, because if he gets ahead of Divan, he'd be around 3 seconds behind Quagga Roberts. So Olympic could be looking from after we were saying Divan could get the burners on and maybe go and get the gap, but Olympic has done it, but he's had a really bad run of corners there through Vale, and Divan has broke the DRS, and that is crucial for the end of his race.
Absolutely, as there goes Quagga Roberts lapping Venom Terror.
Cheddar getting up into 14th ahead of Trey, and those two we expect to be fighting for the points.
Oh, Fizz is gonna get banned.
How come?
I did the Fizz bungle, is on a bender, but watch out, he's up. And then I stopped it there.
Cool.
And he's finished it off.
Oh dear. Well, that's very interesting.
Just like I finished his mum off.
Venom Terror is back up the... Look at how overcast it is now, by the way.
It is very overcast. This could start to rain right at the end of the race.
So we'll promise some rain. It's just all of a sudden changed. But it's nowhere near, like... Look at the halos, and then it looks like it's about to rain.
It does.
This final
I'm
lap
on board
could be
with
very
Divan at the moment, seeing if there is even a speck of rain dropping on the screen. I think I may have just seen it start to come down. No, I think I could be lying.
It should do very soon. It could be a very interesting situation where we start to see...
Night Scout and Lenny are side by side. There's contact. Lenny pushes Night Scout off into the fail chicane. They go now, and Lenny just holds on to the position, but very controversially there. Night Scout gets a brilliant exit, and what a move from the Aston Martin. No!
And that is a yellow. Night Scout making contact there with Lenny and the wall.
Oh, that would have been such a beautiful move if Night Scout had been able to pull it off. Unfortunately, he couldn't. I'm still not seeing any rain. Oh, Melts is out. Melts is crashed out of snow.
Too late for a safety car. Imagine the scenes, though.
We've got red flags on, bear in mind.
Yeah, we hadn't seen one this league. I thought I just started to saw. I thought I saw a spot there, but I didn't. It's gonna start falling on the last lap, I have a feeling.
Venom Terror into the pit.
Divan. Yeah, Venom. This should sort it all out for the top 10. As it stands, though, Olympic is not far off Quagga Roborex with the time penalty. So Olympic is still in that fight for 4th.
He's literally like a 10th behind him, if that.
Exactly. This could all... The rain could play a very interesting part of this race if it just starts falling. It's so dark now. There's not even a spot of blue sky anywhere.
There kind of is. I can see little speck just coming out of Maggots and Beckett.
It's kind of weather what we saw at Silverstone in 2022. But before the race, this kind of weather, and then it started to lighten up again, and we thought, when me and Dan were...
Here comes Trey on Lenny. Sorry to cut in there, Harry. But through goes the Alfa Romeo then on 8-lap fresher soft tyres compared to Lenny's 16-lap old hards.
Crucially, Olympic has got into the gap needed, nearly. It was for a moment.
Starting the final lap then is Franz and then Aphrodite. Aphrodite has started to reel him in this final part of the race as Big T gets the fastest lap now on his soft tyres.
He's going to get a point for his troubles, you know. He'll get another one with the fastest lap as well.
So, amazingly, Aphrodite doesn't... literally, right towards the end of this stint, Aphrodite finally starting to show his pace on those hard tyres. But unfortunately, I think it's too little too late. Franz has done a good job. GSR Weezer's held steady in P3 there. Quagga Roborats is at the moment then. Quagga Roborats would actually drop to P5. I believe Olympic is within the...
Yeah, P5 because of Divan. Yeah. So, it's a race where
he's 2.8 behind.
It's a race where we thought rain was going to be a certainty. It hasn't seemed to be the case. It looks like it's going to fall just after this race. As into Stowe is our race leader and our championship leader, Franz. And as it stands, unless he makes a mistake through the Vale chicane, he will extend his championship lead over Aphrodite. As through the final couple of corners, your race winner today will be the McLaren of Franz, who takes the checkered flag and wins in Britain. Aphrodite will take second place after his penalty just put him way out of sync. Wheeze will get onto a podium. That's his 3 straight podiums for GSL Wheeze. Quacker Robert is the interesting one here, because the rain is starting to fall here, and here goes Quacker Robert. Can he find any time on Olympic through the final couple of corners? What about Olympic? He gets up into 4th. Olympic, great drive from him. Divan will take 6th. A great drive from him. Did everything right today. The rain is falling, but it's falling a little too late. Ironland will take 7th, ahead of Andre. Then Snotcop. Points for Snotcop. Points for Towering. Notnats will take the final place in the top 10. Trey will take some points home for Alfa Romeo after a tough start. His teammate picking up the majority of them though. GSL is in 3rd, Trey in 11th, Cheddar in 12th. The rain came just at the end, and it was quite heavy rain. Look at it. On board with Cheddar for me. It is falling very heavy. If we started this race, if it just came about 10 minutes earlier, we would have seen probably a brilliant end to this race. But it's a very anticlimactic end to the British Grand Prix here in F1 League of South Africa. And your race winner is Franz ahead of Afrodox, as Franz extends his championship lead. They put up some great battles today, did Franz and Afrodox. And it's what we expected to see here in Silverstone. GSL Wheeze showing that he is very much a member of that championship fight. Back-to-back-to-back podiums for him. Obviously, he's a race winner after last time out. Craig Roberts, solid 4th. He's been consistent as always. He's 5th, sorry. Consistent as always, apart from his penalty, which could have put him 4th. Olympic with a brilliant drive up in 4th. I'm sure the Olympic fans in the chat will be going mental for that one. Divan, best result of the season for him in 6th. Ironland in 7th, ahead of Andre and Snotcop and Notnats in the top 10. Then you got Trey, Cheddar, Lenny, Night Scout, and I believe Big T is 15th. Which he is. No, Venom Terror was 15th, then Big T in 16th. So he's not even going to get a point for that fastest lap. Melts in 17th, ahead of Fori, Carnboy, and Boomroker all retired. Melts was a crash. Fori and Carnboy were interesting glitches, and Boomroker was a crash as well. It was a very anticlimactic race in the end there, Alice. We thought we was going to have some rain around halfway through the race. But it didn't come. It came right at the end, where it made no real difference. If we saw it about 10 minutes earlier, it would have been one of the races of the season, I think.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we didn't see it much earlier, so not much we can do about that. But you know,
it's a shame the lobby broke. I reckon because you was in a car, you single-handedly ruined that race. I think, but you know, it was your fault, but a bit of an oopsie on your behalf. So blame Ellis for a lack of entertainment on today's race. But although there were some parts where it was very entertaining, but there were also some dull parts. But compared to the races we've had this season, it was definitely one of the worst we've seen. It was very clean though, and that's all we can ask for, really. So Franz will extend his championship lead. Next time out, we will be racing at Spa-Francorchamps, and that should be another great track where we see some great racing. Thank you, Alice, for joining me in the commentary box.
Absolutely, my last time for a while, so...
You've been replaced by Fizz, unfortunately, so...
You couldn't have got much worse replacement, really, could you?
No. I'm not doing it on my own, so... Alright. Thank you for watching. See you next time for the Belgian Grand Prix here in F1 League South Africa Tier 1. Might get some commentary for Tier 2 tomorrow. I don't know who will be covering that one. Maybe it'll either be BQ or me, depending on how I'm feeling or what I'm doing. So, have a great night, everyone, and see you next week.